Mark Twain was quoted as saying, "History doesn't repeat itself, but it often rhymes." And if that's true, we should be getting a new Marvel vs. Capcom fighting game in the next 2-3 years. As you probably know since you clicked on this video, the Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection was announced at the June 2024 Nintendo Direct. And everyone was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my gosh, oh my gosh! So obviously the fighting game world is super excited, and this is coming off the success of Street Fighter 6 with a Metacritic score of 92. And I choose to believe that scores online for any type of entertainment define whether something's good or bad. Like if it has a bad score and you enjoyed it, you're an idiot because everyone else thinks it's bad and you're not allowed to have an opinion. As of now, no date was announced. We're all just sitting here waiting to know when we could buy a copy of Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection. I personally am going to buy one on every platform I can. Steam, PS5, Switch, and I'm gonna buy 2 physical copies for both my consoles just so I have them so they can never take it away from me again. Though if they shut down the online, it'd be kind of useless. Being that it's so early, why am I so confident that there's going to be a release of a new Marvel vs. Capcom fighting game in around 2026? History, my friends, history. I apologize. See, something similar happened back in 2009, many airlines ago. On July 29th, the Xbox 360 and PS5 were blessed with the release of Marvel vs. Capcom 2 on console with full net rollback online support. Gamers wept, we cried, we all bought it, and we played. I quickly found out how much I sucked at that game, mainly because I don't know how to use Sentinel because I refused to do that. I was trying to play Marvel vs. Capcom thickly. I'm not cheesing, no, I'm not gonna spam. I was an idiot. I adapted, but at the time I was an idiot. This led to like $1 bazillion. That's actually a fact. In sales for Capcom. And Capcom went to Marvel like, yeah, you guys see this? You guys see this? You see this free money we got? You like this free money, Marvel? Well, guess what you're gonna have to do for more of this free money. Just 2 years later, Capcom published Marvel vs. Capcom 3 on November 15, 2011. Again, that was many hairlines ago. So now, since this whole thing's about history repeating itself, back in 2009, made a shitboatload booty full trunk of money. That's a saying that everyone says. I didn't just make that up. Went to Capcom, showed it, made a new Marvel vs. Capcom 3, made a bunch of money. Everyone was super happy. Then obviously Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite came out. That was forcing MCU down gamers' throats, and we're all like, why are you doing this? This totally sucks. Also, it didn't feature the X-Men, which the first game was called X-Men vs. Street Fighter. Also, X-Men, Children of the Atom, kind of launched this whole thing into a series. So for Marvel to want to not include X-Men in the game that was based on the X-Men, kind of a dumb move. But here's where it turns around. As of today, the MCU is not doing so well for Disney, since they pumped out so many MCU related films that they are now competing with themselves, and they've put themselves out of business almost. Well, no, they probably still have so much money. But the MCU did lower viewership 100%. After I saw She-Hulk and twerking in the first 5 seconds, I'm like, this is not for me. This is not, I'm not doing this. This just sounds painful. I watch twerking videos on my own time, privately. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite flopped for Capcom and Marvel because of the MCU. The shows aren't doing good. Everything after Endgame is just complete trash because they keep oversaturating the market. Then Square Enix released their Marvel's Avengers game that was a Destiny looter shooter ripoff that didn't really let you loot gear to make your guy look cool. They wanted money for outfits. That's how you got your outfits. You didn't do like, well, I don't know what the equivalent is, but like strikes at public events, if they have something like that. You didn't do your missions for your loot. You just gave them money. Anyways, that game flopped too because the MCU sucks and they try to force the MCU down our throats yet again. They don't want to see like a realistic looking version of Thor. That's never appealing. This never actually works in gaming. I remember Street Fighter had their arcade machine that like, it was Street Fighter from the film and it kind of looked odd. It looked Mortal Kombat-y-esque. Played it once when I was a kid. I was like, this, just give me the original cartoon Street Fighter. I like that stuff so much better. But you know what hasn't flopped for Disney so far? X-Men 97.
You were my first students. My family. I wanted you to be free. Help build a world where mutants could live however they wish, safe and without fear. My X-Men.
It has a Rotten Tomato score of 99. And as we've established earlier, if it gets a good score online, it's 100% good. Your opinion doesn't matter. As long as the online score is good, your opinion's garbage. Fans love the art direction, storytelling of X-Men from the 90s. There's just something about how it was depicted, drawn up. All that stuff is awesome. Maybe it's nostalgia, but I love it, and I will give you money if you give me more of it. So if history does rhyme, as Mark Twain said, like, who is that guy even? Then if sales are good of the Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection, we should be graced, no blessed even, from God himself and Marvel, like, I don't know who that is, but Marvel God. They will give us a new Marvel vs. Capcom fighting game in 2026. You're welcome. You're welcome for this information. But in all honesty, this is a no-brainer, free money printer go brr executive decision. Like, if sales are good of Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection, which I will buy multiple copies, you should do the same so that we get a new game afterwards. All Capcom has to do, as long as Mario doesn't screw it up and try to force the MCU, but they wouldn't because the MCU is trash right now, and Disney has access to the X-Men, all they have to do is do a remake of Marvel vs. Capcom 2 with the same mechanics and art direction, and bam, money printer go brr, 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 brr. And if they really wanted to pour it out and make the most amount of money, maybe this is just wishful thinking on my part, but doing an X-Men versus Street Fighter 2, where that would sell through the roof. Have the same mechanics of Marvel vs. Capcom 2, but just do it with that roster first, and then like 2 years later, or pour out a new Marvel vs. Capcom. Also, this is wishful thinking because I want more Marvel vs. Capcom games, guys. It's been like 20 years. You guys took my childhood away from me and you never gave it back. But yeah, that's the video.